Emmanuel Carrère, novelist, filmmaker and court reporter, has just received the 2021 Princess of Asturias Award for Literature. On the occasion of the award ceremony in Oviedo, Spain, we met him and conducted this exclusive interview. A witness of his time, a writer of reality, Emmanuel Carrère tells Euronews about the trial of the November 2015 attacks.
Okay.
Hello, Emmanuel Carrère.
Bonjour.
Hello.
In your latest book, Yoga, you mention the attack on Charlie Hebdo. It sort of interrupts your story. You perhaps also participated in, or at least followed, the tributes paid to Samuel Paty, the teacher who was assassinated for showing caricatures of the Islamic prophet Muhammad in a class on freedom of expression. How can this almost holy concept of freedom of expression work with religious liberty, which is another very important right? Can one criticize a religion? Is it possible to blaspheme without insulting others?
Ah, ça c'est une grosse question.
That's a big question.
Alors attendez.
Hold on.
C'est sûr que
For sure, the right to blaspheme is an absolute part of our Republican and pre-Republican tradition.
républicaine, enfin oui, et d'ailleurs
Voltaire mentions it, for example.
Chez Voltaire, il est.
I tend to regard it as inalienable despite everything.
Comme inaliénable, quoi, comme
The risk of offending people by it is part of it.
Il est inclus dedans, mais.
You could say, of course, that we must respect freedom of expression whilst taking into account other people's feelings. But despite everything, what I prefer between the two is the freedom of thought and expression. So, of course, I'm giving you a yes and no answer. But at the end of the day, I'm more on the side of freedom of expression at all costs.
De la liberté d'expression à tout prix, oui.
You're now following the November 2015 attacks trial for a French weekly as a columnist. Is this the subject of your next book? If so, do you already know what it will look like? Would you dare to mix fiction or even use autofiction, like in your previous books, with the harsh reality of the Bataclan attacks, which in some respects has become a kind of national scar? Could you make this narrative your own?
I'm not at all sure that this work will end up becoming a book, but it's possible, as it's already somewhere in the back of my mind. I haven't the slightest idea what it might look like, because we're just at the very beginning. It's a bit premature to discuss that now. Also, adding fiction or docufiction wouldn't be... In reality, that's something I've never done. When I wrote The Adversary, for example, there was no fiction at all.
What have you retained from this first month of the trial? What general impression do you have?
What is just about to end is a period, a very particular sequence of testimonies from the civil parties, the survivors, the families of the victims. It's all extremely emotional and intense. So this is taking its toll on all of us who are following the trial. When we go home sometimes, we have some kind of, I don't know how to describe it, we burst into tears. We're attending something truly terrible. It's terrible, but that's not all it is. What I mean is, we've also witnessed moments of exceptional and admirable humanity. From the end of next week and the one after that, we will start to see the defendant's side. The defendants will be interrogated, so we will switch to a completely different phase of the trial. A trial like this is very surprising because you have the impression that it's trying to unfold every part of what happened in a few hours of that night on November 13th, and from every angle. So it's extremely trying emotionally, but also constantly exciting.
Et au final, qu'est-ce que vous attendez de ce procès si
And what do you expect from this trial, if anything?
quelque chose de particulier ou...
C'est drôle parce que la question que vous posez, c'est la question qu'on
That's funny because the question you just asked is what they're actually asking the civil parties who are testifying. At the end, everyone answers the question, what do you expect from the trial? The answers, which I would say are my own too, are that justice must be served, meaning the sentences must be proportionate to the acts committed.
Il y ait des peines qui soient proportionnées aux actes.
With that in mind, the people who are in front of the judges are not the people who actually did the killings.
Ça les exonère pas du
That
tout.
does not exonerate them at all, but they are not the guys who killed because those guys are dead.
Que justice soit rendue
It
selon
also means that justice must be done according to the norms of the law.
justement l'honneur d'un tel procès de faire que
It's as if the honour of this trial is to make sure that it goes well, that the defendants are defended,
tout le monde
that they are defended well.
réclame ça, y compris les gens qui ont été les plus meurtris.
Everyone is demanding this, including the people who've been the most hurt. There is also a desire to understand things a little better, so to prevent other attacks. I only half believe that is possible.
Mais bon. Et puis ce que disent certains, et au fond, moi,
Some people are saying, and deep down it's perhaps what I've retained the most, is that they want to constitute a kind of collective narrative of this event.
de cet événement quand même très
But maybe that's a kind of professional deformation from me.
formation professionnelle.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That's the writer's point of view.
Yes, but it's not only my point of view, it's also that of many people who are testifying. They say that for them it's one of the important aspects.
To tell the story.
Soit raconté que chacun jusqu'à présent.
Yes, because everyone so far has their own story to tell, and to hear all the other stories is very important and very valuable. I mean, it's not just my profession that makes this dimension so important.
Qui donne tant d'importance à cette dimension-là.
Dernière question,
Last question. Lao Tzu would have said, the goal is not the goal is the path.
Le but,
I think you know this quote.
je pense que vous connaissez cette...
Je connais ça et je
I know it, and I totally agree with it.
entièrement.
Et alors, votre chemin...
Where are you on that path?
Ah,
Alors, c'est
It's a difficult question.
difficile, mais...
ben disons. Toujours
Well, let's say I'm still walking and bumping and hobbling. That's kind of our lot.
mais c'est un peu notre lot à tous. Hein. Ça nous ramène au tout
That
début
question brings us back to the beginning of this conversation, to the desire to improve things a little, and by doing this, to improve the little things around us.
les choses autour de soi.
It's an ambition that is both modest and immense.
Modeste et immense.
Thank you, Emmanuel Carrère.
Je vous remercie.
Merci à vous.